Being an artist comes with its own unique set of joys, challenges, and peculiarities, especially when it comes to having your own studio space. For those of you who have always wondered what it would be like, I'll walk you through the size, geographic location, my expenses, and the other considerations one might have to having a personal studio. Maybe you've always wondered what it's like to be a professional artist or to take the next big step and have a studio of your own if you are a professional and maybe you're working out of a spare room in your house. So imagine it, a sunlit room filled with the scent of turpentine and wood shavings, where ideas take flight and colors dance across canvases. A studio isn't just a space, it's a world of potential. A place where the mundane falls away and creativity reigns supreme. However, behind the wonder lies the day to day reality of making it work. From managing expenses to balancing having a full time job, the life of an artist is one of contrasts, the extraordinary and the ordinary, the inspired and the practical. Let's take a look inside the complex and fascinating journey of studio ownership. so, I do not own my studio, so to speak. I rent, albeit at a very good rate. I pay $450 a month for approximately 30 by 20 and then 30 by 10 and a half feet. My studio is located inside a warehouse in a large storage unit facility. It's a spacious area divided into two workrooms, has one bathroom, and a cool door that opens up to the rest of the spooky warehouse. An unexpected touch of atmosphere that keeps things interesting. Sometimes it's locked, sometimes it's unlocked. It should really always be unlocked because when I blow a breaker, I have to go in and mess around with the electrical box. So the amenities, I have a bathroom sink and a shop sink. I also have hot water, but I've yet to turn on the hot water tank because I am not ready to take on the extra expense in terms of electric. And my heating is electric as well. So I had to pay about $30 in October for electricity, including lights and all my shop tools that I use for cutting lumber. I had to pay about $67 in November for heat and electric, although my bill drastically went up in terms of transmission. The cost of my electric use was only about $8. So it's really just PPL raising their transmission fee, which is unfortunate. This month, in December, it was very cold out, so my bill is now $165, which for, negative 9 degrees almost every day, I can pay $160 to keep my studio warm. And I keep my studio around 45 to 50 degrees. So it's not warm, but, I'm wearing a nice jacket and I have fuzzy socks on, so I'm comfortable. Basically, I just don't want my paint getting funky. I use oil paint, so it's not going to freeze at 32 degrees, but it does start to get weird. I don't really know what this space would be worth, and that's where geography comes into place, because I do not live in Manhattan. I live in the middle of the woods in Honesdale, Pennsylvania. So, is 450 too much? A lot of places are going for like $2,000 or $1,500 to rent, a studio apartment. But those are for people who live in New York City who want like a summer or weekend place. No one's coming up here for an artist studio. If you want to be an artist, you should probably be in New York City. So I'm a little bit crazy for having an artist studio in the middle of the woods here. But that said, people from the city do visit here, so having a studio isn't a big deal. It does happen. And it allows me to make work this massive half of a painting back here that I wouldn't have been able to make otherwise. I can't make this in a bedroom. This took me half a year and $1,000 in lumber to build all the frames. You can see I have like 10 frames in a stack right there behind me. So in total, it's 33 frames. Anyway, time management and having a full-time job, that's tricky because I'm paying about $500 a month, including electricity, maybe $550 a month to be here. And I have to work, and sometimes I'm tired after work and I don't want to come to the studio. It's close to my house. It's about a 5-minute drive, but do I really want to come here after a full day of work? And typically no. So I have to force myself to come here And then in the wintertime, it's cold, so I have to either suck it up or pay more money to have heat. So yeah, it's uncomfortable sometimes. And the fact that I am paying for the space, and it's a big space, I have this high expectation of myself that I have to make a lot of work. Otherwise, I'm throwing money away. So, in some regards, it's good that I have a motivation to make work if I'm not feeling like it, because I'd be wasting money. It's kind of two sides of the coin. If you don't have the time to come to your studio every day after work, or even like 2 or 3 times a week, and you can't put in 3 or 4 hours, maybe you don't need a big studio. But it's hard. I don't have kids, so I don't have to worry about like raising a family at the same time. So those are things to consider. Final thoughts. I would be very disappointed if I lost my studio. I don't know where I'd put all my stuff, first of all, but I can do a lot here. I've started a lot of projects. I have a green screen set up for video. I have an entire front room that I haven't even figured out what to do with yet. I had a desk there for a while, and then I decided, well, I don't need to work in here. I can have my desk right here. Let me show you. I'm kind of sitting in a desk in the middle of my workshop right now, and I have my YouTube set up. Come back. So yeah, very versatile space. I'll show you around a little bit. Over here I got my table saw. I got some canvases on the ground, some green screen stuff. I have a Rock God YouTube channel, so you might want to check that out. It's a performance piece I'm working on, and I can say with confidence that I am probably the most divine rock and roll being who's ever existed. If you don't believe me, check out my channel. I don't know if I'll be able to put it in somewhere, but let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be glad to talk about it more.